video is sponsored by Squarespace. Last year, we bought 200 peonies, and you know, just wasn't enough. So this year, we spent $10,000 on peonies, and I'm gonna show you them and give you all the details. Welcome to Red Roof Family Farm in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. We are a zone 5 here, so it gets cold, but perfect conditions for growing peonies. We sell flowers at our local farmers market and also at a roadside stand. We are currently in year 5 of our farm business. When we first started the farm, we were mostly veggies, some flowers on the side, but last year we decided to specialize, narrow in to just flowers, and since we did that, we've slowly been investing. You know, this isn't the only $10,000 purchase I made this year into getting the entire farm set up with flowers. So we are really excited with the ways the farm has been changing and what it's gonna look like in the years to come. But it's fall on the farm. It has been freezing. It was gonna maybe snow today. So the peonies aren't outside. I have them stored inside. Let's get in there and show you what they look like. Welcome to my garage slash peony mess. We have them spread everywhere because we had to check them off to make sure we got everything. But look at these. These are some really gorgeous looking peonies. We are in Canada, so our wholesaler is Canadian, but we bought these from Unicorn Blooms. These are some really beautiful peony roots. I'm really happy. When you buy peonies, they're sold by eyes. And the size that we got is a 3 to 5 eye. And what that means is like this. These are the eyes, these little growing pieces. This is what they say when they say when they say the size is a 3 to 5. It means there's at least 3, maybe 5 of those. And the one thing that makes these peonies so nice is that there's a ton in here that'll have like 10. So these are really large peonies, but they're, you know, the price is a little bit more expensive than some of the smaller ones. But when you get those bigger ones, you're basically buying yourself a year. And as a flower farmer, that's money very well spent. Because we are, you know, professional flower farmer, we're buying these wholesale. You get the peonies in the fall. You plant them now, they overwinter, and then they grow up come spring. If you're a home gardener, maybe you're used to seeing peonies in the spring. You know, you get them potted up, they have leaves, you purchase them, put them into your garden. They do a lot better getting planted in the fall, and it's nice and easy to put in these bare root pieces. You know, they ship. You know, each of these boxes has about 30 peonies in them, so it makes it a lot easier to ship. But let's get on to the details. You want to know what's in these boxes. You know, this is exciting for me, but it's more exciting when I put the picture on the screen and tell you what I got. First up, we got Red Grace. Oh, these are some nice looking chunks. Look at that. Yeah, that is a nice looking peony. We bought 90 of these. I guess what I should do first of all is explain what the plan is here. So $10,000 worth of peonies. Unfortunately, I wish it was like 10,000 peonies for $10,000. It isn't. These peonies price ranged from about $10 to $18. So, you know, each. I wish it was per case. In total, I think we have just under 750 peonies to plant. When we're done, we're gonna have a field of 1,000 peonies. So many peonies, it's gonna look so good in a few years. Because what our business is selling these bouquets, mostly at the roadside stand, what I wanted was to have enough of the same variety that I could get, you know, a good amount. Each peony, you know, once they're established, should produce about 10 flowers per plant. And if I was only buying 30 of each, that would mean that every year I'd kind of get 300 of the same peony. And 300 of the same peony would be great. You know, if I was gonna do a bouquet and it had 3 peonies in it, I could make 100 of that same bouquet. But if I was to have like a wholesale customer who wanted to buy 100 peonies, you know, that's pretty quickly going to cut into the numbers that I have. It just makes more sense for me at the scale that our farm is to be having kind of at least, you know, 500 of the same flower, you know, maybe even more. And then the other thing that I really wanted to have from my peony field is, rather than to be focused on, you know, just one color, just one look, I wanted to have the ability to service a whole variety of customers. Right now, like pastels and corals and colors like that are really trendy. But the great thing about peonies is they're kind of like parrots. You know, if you have a parrot, you gotta like put it in your will. This peony planting that I'm doing, you know, it could last 50 years. It could last even longer. So I don't want to plant for a current color trend, because who knows what's going to be the popular color 20 years from now. So I want my peony field to be quite diverse. So I wanted to have all the colors, and I also wanted to be having peonies that were going to be blooming across the whole season. You know, I want early peonies, mid-season peonies, late season peonies, so that I can have a longer window for picking all of them. Because when I have 1,000 plants, that's going to be 10,000 peony flowers out there to pick, and that's a lot of work to do, you know, in just a couple days. If it instead blooms out, you know, across like a month and a half, it's gonna make my life a lot easier. So this color here, so this variety is Red Grace, like I said, and I got 90 of them, and this is my only red peony. This is an early flowering variety, and it is a big, huge, fluffy double. I know I just explained that I didn't want to go for trends, and I wanted a diversity of things. The one thing that I have consistent in all the peonies that I'm planting is all of these are doubles. I didn't want to get any of the single petaled ones. The doubles, they have just a little bit longer of a vase life, you know, and it's hard to go wrong. It's hard to go wrong with a big, huge, massive puff ball of a peony. So every one of these is looking exactly like that. I'm really excited about the color on this. You know, it looks like a really deep, rich color. And then the fact that it's early. Another thing that's great about peonies is when you harvest them, how flower farmers harvest them, you harvest them at the stage called like marshmallow stage. They're completely closed, right? This is one thing that people always wonder about with peonies in flower farms. Like, oh, but how do you deal with all the rain and the flowers and they get so heavy? That never happens because you never actually let the peony open up on the plant. You harvest it when the peony is still closed. And because when you harvest it when it's still closed, it can get put into the cooler, and they can be stored in the cooler for, you know, like up to 8 weeks. So by having this red be an early season red, it doesn't mean I'm only gonna have red available for a small part of the season. I can stick these into my cooler and I can have them available all throughout peony season. So like, it's really exciting for me to have it coming on so early. I'm excited about this one. And like, I actually have started. I planted the first crate of this, and the roots are so big. I think these are gonna be big, beautiful plants really quickly. I always have so much fun doing these unboxings because it kind of is Christmas for me, because I completely forget what I buy. With most of these wholesale orders that I do, I'm actually purchasing them like 6 months before they show up on the farm. So it's been really fun for me to open these up and remind myself of what I purchased. And this is one that I'm like, oh, I forgot. This is called Angel Cheeks. I have 25 of these, and this is like this beautiful soft pink puff ball. And this one, I can't remember the bloom period on this, but this one is supposed to have like a really beautiful scent to it. I'm not purchasing these for scent. I'm purchasing these for like flower look more than anything. But when they smell good on top of everything, that's exciting. I imagine this is gonna be one that stays with me sometimes. It's like, oh, beautiful pink peony that smells great. I think some of these are going to be coming into my house. Next up, I have a box of 30 Nancy Nora. Yeah, look at that. How about that for nice looking peony? That's really exciting. In the peonies that we already have, I already have 35 of these. So I just got another box to add on to the collection. This is, yet again, just a really, really beautiful light blush pink. Very full, just like perfect, right? Like perfect, like so girly, perfect for a wedding. I really like this. It has a scent. And one thing, it's mid-season. I don't know if I said that already. And one thing that is exciting about this one is it specifically does really well in storage. You know, so in general, here on the farm, you know, we're trying to sell everything as quickly as possible. But if this one stores really well, you know, maybe this is one that we'd save so that we could have peonies for like really special occasions in the summer. You know, it's really exciting. Oh, I'm like, you know, it's fun like going through these and remembering what I have. It's not going to be fun digging around in the cold dirt outside, but dreaming of all these beautiful flowers and a field of them in the years to come is definitely, it makes the work a lot easier. Okay, next up, we got 30 pink Hawaiian coral. I don't think I have any of this yet. Like I said, coral right now is really trendy. Oh my God, look. Okay, get ready for it. These are insane. How about that for a peony root? That is like a crazy, crazy root. Like all of these, this whole case is like massive. Yeah, those are some good looking peonies. This actually was like one of the cheaper peonies that we bought. This is not quite as full as some of those like big, huge puffball doubles. But the color is really beautiful. Like I said, we're not going for trends. But the coral, like I love the coral. The coral's really beautiful. So this pink Hawaiian is, so we have 30 of them and it's part of like our coral collection. But it wasn't my favorite. So I was like, okay, only one of these, because we went for 90 sets of the other corals. I think they're over here. Okay, yeah, here we go. So we got 90 of Coral Charm, right? Because you know, we still got some coral, right? So this one here. Oh yeah, those look good too. This one's really nice. Coral Charm is an earlier blooming variety. Like all of these corals, they're not quite as full, but this one's a little bit fuller than the Hawaiian variety, and like just really, really beautiful, like peachy tones to it. So I love it, right? Ian loves these too. Ian's favorite are the corals. Previously we had purchased Coral Charm, I think, and we have a handful of them planted in our home garden. That was because I was like, Ian, you can pick one. You can pick one variety of peonies. Which is the one that you want? And this is what he picked. Do you remember? No? Yeah, no. One of the problems with peonies is that they take a few years before they start blooming really well. So usually they say for a flower farmer, you don't want to be harvesting off of your peonies for 3 years. You want to give it time to have those roots get really established, let them grow into big, healthy plants so that you can get lots of flowers year after year after year. You don't want to harvest off of it early because you want it to get as strong as possible, as quickly as possible, because you'll get the most amount of flowers in longevity that way. Where we are, it gets really hot and it's really dry. So the peonies, you know, struggle even maybe a little bit more here than they would in other places. So even though I bought these peonies for Ian a couple of years ago, they kind of bloom like one flower a year. So it makes sense to me that he hasn't seen them. So we're year 5 here on our specific property. And in the very first summer that we moved here, I found some like discount peonies and I planted them in. And this last summer was the first year that they were like, whoa, gorgeous, beautiful. So some of these peonies for me, you know, they may take a few more years. They might not be ready on year 3 to be producing the 10 stems that, you know, I know that they'll do eventually. So, you know, even if it takes 5 years till Ian's like, oh, look at these amazing coral flowers, he'll appreciate. You'll appreciate, Ian. We also specifically have 90 coral sunset. There's like a 20% coral representation in this field. We still got lots of coral. So coral sunset, really similar to coral charm. Yeah, these roots, gorgeous. Oh, this is exciting. Coral sunset is also an early flowering peony. It's really similar to coral charm, but coral sunset is a little fuller and it's a little bit more on the orange tones, I find. The coral charm is a little softer, a little brighter in the coral sunset and a little bit fluffier. So I'm excited. It's gonna be really pretty. You know, I think we already planted a pack of corals. So I think we already have like 30 in the ground. So like 240, I guess that's like 24% coral. I'm not upset about it. I'm not upset about how much coral there is because they look so nice. Here's one that I'm a little disappointed because I ordered a bunch and they were sold out. They didn't have everything available on this one. This is Do Tell. Let's grab one out of here. Oh, look how big. They make me so happy every time I pull them out and they're just like so big. We bought peonies before. We bought smaller peonies that were, you know, like $3 each. And they came and they were like, you know, like a single short root. So every time I take one of these out of the box, I'm like, oh, they're so nice. I said that I only got doubles, which is pretty much true. This is like gray area. So Do Tell is a little bit of a different flower shape. It has like the puff on the inside and then the open petals. And there was a bunch of these that were available. And I was like, Ian, look at these. These are so incredible. They look so cool. And he was like, no, don't do it. I don't like them. He was like, nope, I don't want that. But I couldn't resist. Even though the look is, you know, it's not the big decadence, I can imagine the look of this like doing really well in bridal work. You know, and we want to be able to have the flowers to do that into the future. So, you know, I cheated and I think I got 2 varieties that are these like puff ball styles. I think they're often called like an anemone style when they're like this. Breathing in peat moss from them being all packed up. So this is a early mid-season blooming one and just really beautiful. Yet again, that soft pink, you know, the soft pink, it's pretty easy to want to buy only soft pink. We have some ones that aren't soft pink coming up. But yeah, no, I've never seen this type of peony in person. When I like go through people's gardens, you know, I haven't seen one of these yet. And so I'm really in love with the pictures of them and I can't wait to see them in person. Ian's always like, just let them bloom. Because often like the flower farmers will go and they'll pick the buds off on those first years. And Ian's like, don't do it, let them bloom. So this one, it'll be easy for him to sucker me into letting this one bloom next year so I can see what it actually looks like. And I didn't only get one variety. That is this like, you know, like special variety. I also got honey gold. I got a 30 of honey gold. And this is yet again the same type of flower. But the coloring on these is just really, really cool. The outside petals are white and then the inside is like a really, really yellow, warm yellow. I've seen pictures where it even has like pink mixed in to it. And then this variety is kind of a mid to late blooming one. So I'm really excited. You know, I just showed Ian a picture of these ones because he'd been all poo-poo about me buying these ones. I ordered them while we were on a road trip together, and I was all like, oh, this one. And I think as I was explaining them to him, he was like, no, I don't like what that sounds like, because I just showed him a picture of this one right now, and he was like, oh, I love it. It looks so good. All right, next up we have 90, because any of the ones that I was like, I love it, I bought 90 of. But I am not even going to try to say this. So the name of this is just, it's on the screen right now, because I'm not going to embarrass myself trying to say this, what I'm assuming is a Dutch name. These, they're like a mid-late blooming, super big puffy double, and this is like a nice strong pink. A lot of what I have is like kind of more in those like softer pinks, because they're just really neutral. But like I said with the first one, like I wanted a red, I want a bright pink. You know, if everything's the same color, it's, you know, it's not as exciting. So this I'm really excited about. I love working with really bright colored flowers. You know, my favorite color for flower on the farm is orange. There's no orange peonies yet. So getting like a total Barbie pink peony, having a huge patch of it, it's really exciting. This, I can't wait. It's gonna be like insane to have all of these peonies. It's gonna, I know it's a lot of money. $10,000 is a lot of money to spend on peonies, but you know, as I open these, it's definitely feeling like money well spent. Next up, we have a case of Elsa Sass, and I only have 30 of these because I had already put in, you know, either 35 or 60 of these last year. And this is a late blooming variety that is white, and it's beautiful. It's like, because I've seen it, right? Because we actually let this one bloom. It's this massive puffball of a flower, and because, you know, I let a few of them bloom just to see what they looked like on the plant, it just opened and it opened and it opened. It felt like it just bloomed and bloomed and bloomed. It was incredible how many petals were on this flower. I have to admit, this is one that it was like tempting. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should buy a ton of this, but I already have a few whites already in the farm out of the 200 that I planted. With this order, I was really trying to diversify into, you know, the other colors a little bit more, but oh, this one is really good. Elsa Sass. Everyone needs this one. Then I have another late blooming white. This one is Class Act. Yeah, these are some really gorgeous looking roots. And yet again, this is a variety that I already have planted in my collection of peonies from last year. But this is same story as the Elsa Sass. Class Act, just massive, opened and opened and opened. When it first started out, it had some streaks of pink on it, but once it opened, it was like completely white. When I first saw it like closed up, I was like, oh, I don't know what this is gonna look like. And then it was kind of really surprising. Another one that, you know, I'm really happy to be adding more of, you know, still kind of that late season is gonna be looking good on the farm. And then in my white collection, I have 30 of the Madame Claude Cane. This one I'm really excited about. It's a mid-season, so it's gonna bloom earlier than the other whites that I have, and it is the whitest of the whites. This one I got because it was like, oh, this one's a really good variety for wedding work. Like 1,000 peonies, that's a little bit much for me to just sell at my roadside stand. So when I was ordering this in, you know, I was thinking about wholesale. I was thinking about who is gonna be using these peonies that I'm gonna be selling them to. So I wanted to have a good white collection. If this one never sells at the stand, if all of the blooms off of these specific plants only ever go to florists, then, you know, that's fine. That's great. But yeah, you know, every one of these boxes I open up and I'm just like blown away by how big and beautiful these peony roots are. And then I have 60 of Brother Chuck. Oh yeah, look at that. So Brother Chuck, I already have planted. I already have 30 of them into my peony bed. But when I saw them this year, they were it was like, oh yeah, this is really good. So it is an earlier blooming variety, and it's like, you know, the most bridal one of them all, I feel. I mean, I guess the all white is like classic, but it's just the softest blush. In the field when they bloomed, some were kind of like very white with just like little bits of the soft pink. Others were, you know, like just like a warm blush. I really liked this variety. You know, I had to be constrained, right? I wanted to make sure that I hit all the colors. I wanted to make sure that, you know, I hit all the seasons. This was expensive. This was like the top of my budget. $10,000 was the most I was allowed to spend on peonies in 1 year. Because as I mentioned at the beginning, there's other things that we spent money on this year. As I open these up and I like remember what I was experiencing when I was ordering them, it was really hard to constrain myself in numbers. You know, when you have a peony like Brother Chuck here, which just, you know, kind of blows you away on the look of it. You want 100 of them. You don't only want, you know, like you want 200 of them. And then finally, I have 60 of Bridal Shower. And Bridal Shower is another mid-season white. So it's a little bit smaller in size than Tane. The petals are kind of more shredded, so it looks like really fluffy and full. I'm really excited. As I'm looking through this too, so there's a lot of white, right? There's, you know, like I said, I have a large collection of coral that went in, and then there's a lot that are in those like blush tones. And I only have the one variety that's in the pink. And so I'm remembering that I also have 100 from Van Noort, another place that we buy plants from, of Sarah Bernhardt. And Sarah Bernhardt is another like good strong pink, right? Like a nice Barbie pink colored flower. So having those, they're not planted in my field yet, but having those down in my field is kind of really diversifying, you know, because I'm getting to this last one and I'm like, I thought I had more pink. Where's all this strong pink? But yeah, there was one that I really wanted to get more of. In the varieties that I planted last year, I had a yellow, like a really creamy colored yellow peony. It was quite expensive, but I invested into it anyways, because like I said, I want to have all the colors. And I looked at buying more of it this year. And I couldn't justify adding it on. So, you know, in total, I have 14 beds of peonies planted, to make it so that, you know, it's right in around that 1,000 peony mark when I include that 100 Sarah Bernhardts that I said I had, you know. And as I'm looking at the space, I'm considering saving like a few more beds to add in a few more of those treats. You know, I can slowly, at $20 a pop for a yellow peony, you know, I can slowly add in, okay, like I'll put some of those in next year, you know, spend a couple $100. You know, I'm really excited for the spring when I can see them bloom out. You know, I'm gonna try to leave like one bud per plant so I can see the color. I can get an idea for like the timing, like when each variety is gonna bloom, to know if I have my color variety, time variety spaced out. So I imagine going on into the future, there is gonna be a few holes that I'm gonna fill, but I'm really excited. You know, this is a big job. Yeah, I'm a little bit procrastinating. I have people helping me right now, planting them, and I'm hiding inside where it's warmer, gushing over the beautiful pictures of them. It's really exciting to imagine what the farm's gonna look like next year, to imagine what these are gonna look like in 5 years, what these are gonna look like in 10 years. And, you know, we named our farm Red Roof Family Farm. You know, we're first generation farmers, but my dream with the farm is that one day maybe one of my kids would take it over, and so this is a lot of money. Right? This is a lot of money. This is a lot of peonies, but these peonies, you know, could be there for my kids to take over the farm. You know, when I'm retiring 40 years from now, just big, beautiful established plants that are easy for them to pick off of, just, you know, with a little bit of annual maintenance. This is the beginning of what could be an established and a stable business for us. And it's just, it's really, really exciting. So let me know down below in the comments what peony is your favorite. Let me know if there's anything that you have on your personal list that I need to check out. Because as I said, there's probably gonna be more peonies, a few more coming to the farm. So let me know the ones that are must-haves that I'm missing. And make sure to check out some of the other unboxings that we have going on. Because, you know, as they say, I know there's gonna be flowers next year. I know it because I'm planting them right now. Since recording this, we've been working hard on our business by getting all the peonies planted. If you want to work on your business, check out our sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the ultimate platform for creating your dream website. With flexible business templates, you can start with professional design that fits your category and customize it to match your unique style. Be it a professional blog, a portfolio, or a business website, Squarespace ensures your online presence stands out on every device. But it's not just about being seen. It's a great way to sell. Whether you're selling physical, digital, or service products, Squarespace provides you with the tools you need to launch your online store effortlessly. From inventory management to secure payment processing, Squarespace has got you covered. And if, like me, you also sell in person, Squarespace offers point-of-sale integration. Connect a Square Reader to the Squarespace app and sync your orders, inventory, and customer data with your online store, making it easy to carry your business anywhere. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/youcaneatthegrass to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.